Good evening, everyone, and welcome back. I am Abhay Fogart, and I am thrilled to welcome you all in session 4 of Case Studio. Case Studio is a workshop series that helps you succeed in case competitions with practical tips from previous winners. In this session, we will cover research and ideation strategies, winning business idea, campus to finale journey, tips and tricks to stand out. In session 4, we will welcome national winners of Asian Paints Canvas, Rohan Bhardwaj, Pranjali, Bhatia, and Siddhartha Dwivedi from XLRI Jamshedpur. Welcome, team, and thank you for giving your time for this workshop. I would like to hand over this to you, and you can proceed with your introduction.
Hi, so I'm Siddhartha. I did my internship at NatWest in product strategy, and I also received a PPO there. So I'm currently working there. And before that, I was working at JP Morgan Chase after my BTech from NIT Allahabad. Over to you, Pranjali.
Hi, this is Pranjali. I did my UG from Gargi College, and after which I did my MBA from Excel. And now I'm currently working with Asian Paints in sales and marketing.
Hi everyone, I'm Rohan Bhardwaj. I did my undergrad from IIT BHU in Varanasi. Worked for around 2.5 years in the banking and data analytics sector. Then after coming to XLRI, I got my internship with Bain and Company, secured a PPO there, hence have joined as a consultant here.
Thank you, team, to briefly introduce about yourselves. So, Pranjali, can you tell us, the audience, what is Asian Paints Canvas and what are the different rounds associated with it? And just brief touch upon the case problems.
Okay. So, as most of you would know, that Asian Paints is a market leader in the paints industry, and now it is trying to move into the home decor segment. So they are moving from share of space to share of surface. So now Asian Paints as a company has a vision to become an integrated home decor player in India, and for that they have started with a new retailing tier, which is the Beautiful Home store. So our problem statement was also related to how can we improve their store experience, what can we do better for it, and how the name of the problem statement was also decor, discovery, and delight. So how can we get into the decor journey of the customer and create delight points for them? So the competition was phased into two parts. One was the campus round and the next was the national round. So for the campus round, we had the problem statement which was there. For the national rounds, there were build up more problems on that only. So for the campus round, we did the customer journey mapping. We highlighted what were the pain points of the customer, what were the delights, what was the phygital journey that was now taking place, and for a generic point of view, it was like that, to see how can we get into the phygital journey of the customer and what was the delights we could create from a stakeholder point of view. But for the national rounds, we were given three more important pillars that we had to build upon. First was how to get more footfalls into the BH store. So what were the BTL activations we could do for them? The second was from a CAC point of view, like how could we reduce them? How could we leverage the in-store technology and the people currently better and improve the CAC? And the third and the very most important point was how could we cross-sell and upsell paint through this? Because paint is again their first focus right now. So how can we upsell and cross-sell paints through Beautiful Homes? So that was a brief overview about the problem statement and the company as well.
Thanks, Pranjali. Any one of you, Siddharth, Rohan, would like to add in this?
Yeah, I think we can get started on the decks. So I think what Asian Paints wanted to really do with this beautiful home store statement was to see, because beautiful, like furniture segment or entire decor segment is more of a high involvement business, and it's very important that the customers are able to visualize what their home is going to look like. Hence, they wanted to focus a lot on how to bring customers to a store, that too from Asian Paints, which is into the decor business. So that was the reason why our problem statement was structured how it was. And secondly, they had also appreciated the fact that earlier customers would used to depend a lot on architects and interior designers, but now customers themselves also had some really strong choices as to what they want for the decor thing. So therefore, we also try to focus a lot on how we can involve customers into creating their own homes very beautifully by empowering them with some, home decor expertise or tools so that they can make their home as they really want it. So right now we'll start with the deck straight on so that we are able to explain better how we translated all that I am saying into our ideas. Siddharth, can you move on to the first line? So, firstly, when we start, with our research, we try to form a hypothesis that even if we have to go to primary research, who do we exactly target? What do we exactly ask them? So, from our Asian Paints problem statement itself, there were certain things like what is the customer segment to target, what channels do they really go to in order to discover what they need, and what is the competitive landscape like. So we did a lot of secondary research. We found a lot of reports to be able to give all that we have in the slide. And this helped us form a little hypothesis that we should be targeting a lot of millennials or should be interviewing a lot of millennials for our primary research. In the next slide, we have actually started to map. Siddharth, can you move on? Yeah. So in the next slide, we have tried to map on that what is the customer's journey like. As Pranjali also mentioned, that Asian Paints had already acknowledged that there are a lot of platforms like Pinterest, Instagram, where customers are already going through a lot of decor ideas. So we had tried to map out that what is the online and offline channels through which the customer is going through, what are the pain points that they are facing, which was more on, clarity of what they want, trying to find clarity of what they want, trying to find a visualization of how exactly their home would look like if they are making choices. And therefore, from our survey, we had thought that there are two sorts of customers which are on two polar ends. One is who is a complete value driven customer, and second is more of an experience seeker who is looking for a very good and convenient shopping experience to buy their home decor. Thirdly, in the next slide, we also try to map out an emotional angle to this customer journey. That over because when we talk about experience, we also want to see that emotionally what exactly is a customer trying to see. So what we found out that they wanted a comfortable journey, which is seamless, convenient to go through. At the same time, they wanted a sense of involvement where they have their own say to voice out that what is exactly their idea of their beautiful home. And thirdly, they would feel a sense of achievement when all of this is being taken care of along with expertise, and they have been able to get their right home. So this was also like kind of appreciated a lot in our slides, that we brought an emotional angle to the customer journey also. To this, we had given our own framework of solving, where we had mapped the customer journey on a bell curve, where a person would first search for the product, then they would go through an entire shopping experience, and thirdly they would engage with the brand only when they find that brand to be credible. So search, experience, and credence were the three stages where we have bundled all of our solutions. During the search stage, where a customer is trying to look for a product, we had focused our ideas on targeting the right person at the right time, which, if you would see in the problem statement, Asian Paints call it as BTL marketing, where we see that where at what points, at what places is the customer interested to buy home decor, and we try to target them at that particular point only. Second is that given that their journey is entirely spread across online and offline channels, we wanted to give a seamless bridge from their online channel to the store. In this stage, we are totally targeting on first targeting those BTL customers and then bringing them to the store. And our third set of ideas was more on to establish or target the entire stakeholder ecosystem, which involves the customers, which involves the architects and designers. It involves Asian Paints, and we wanted to build the entire trust of Asian Paints as a reliable brand in the decor system, and therefore our engagement ideas are focused on that. Next slide. So if I first start with the search stage, right, where we want to instantly target the right person at the right time, we had just made this in the enlightenment funnel where we would first make the customers aware that, okay, Asian Paints in the decor business does exist and we have a wide variety of things to offer. And then some of our ideas would kind of nudge them to explore what we have to offer on our online platforms, and even would encourage them to visit the store at least. So if I go on to the first idea, we first identified that a lot of businesses in the home decor industry were targeting pop-up stores. So another thing that was really appreciated and was also a key judgment criteria was that how many ideas are we picking up from other industries who are probably working in the same space or somewhat differently. That was also a key judgment criteria. So we tried to give a lot of case examples that, okay, this is something which is practically being used and it is giving them results. So first is pop-up exhibits, which we wanted to give, where here you could see that we have shown various examples of other companies that are doing this, and we have also shown the success KPIs, that what do we exactly expect out of these engagements. Even in our airport lounge idea, you would see that we have specifically told that which airport should we target, right? So, which is going to help Asian Paints. And we have also showed that what is the basis. We have showed scientifically like lounge traffic is basically our key metric of deciding or prioritizing the airports. So these kind of small angles was basically our winning factors. Next slide. Here we have talked about geo-targeting as one of the ideas, where we have shown KPI. We have also showed a particular company which they could collaborate with so that it is easier for them to execute this idea. We have shown that what are the success metrics and what is the expected rise in the success metrics that they could get. Similarly, for the web engagement, when we are telling them about search engine optimization, we are telling them that on what basis are we saying that Asian Paints Beautiful Home is not living up to its competitors, and where is it lagging. We have also showed that what are the keywords and what are the results that the consumer is searching for, which can help Asian Paints, bring them up more to, visible searches. So all of that we had mentioned in this particular slide. Next slide. Here we had done some deeper research to understand that once a customer, let's say, is interested to visit Asian Paints, WhatsApp is another emerging channel. So here, this again, since this is a PDF presentation, we cannot show you, but here we had an entire video showing that how the Asian Paints Beautiful Homes WhatsApp journey is kind of more cumbersome in comparison to their competitors, and what are they doing much better. So although as soon as we said this idea, they were on to implementing this. So even in our further rounds, this journey was improving and improving, and now it is a full-fledged journey. But our idea was basically benchmark on where they were actually at this point. And again, with our nudge to store idea, we had taken the example of Decathlon, which is again a completely different industry. But we had said that, okay, this is one way where you can nudge customers to the store, which is nearby to them. Next slide. Here also, we had taken a very practical example of Google Lens. We had taken an inspiration that there are a lot of aesthetic places like cafes and other places where you would like certain piece of furniture or decor, which you would really want at your home. So we had enabled this feature that, okay, just like Google Lens, we could have a BH Lens app, which could tell you the closest matching option that Asian Paint has to offer. So this was basically our idea of coming onto this. Next, we had actually gone through the Asian Paints Beautiful Homes website to see how easy it is for me to find a particular SKU that I like. And there we found a gap, that they had a very different interface of you to, give Asian Paints what your choice is, and then they would recommend you a certain list of options. So A, this journey was very fragmented. B, there were many steps involved into it. So to mitigate this particular problem, and getting inspired from, dating apps like Tinder, where you dynamically get options and you are able to swipe right and swipe left to tell basically the app that what your preference is, we had given this particular sort of interface where over swipes you can see that where you could, through your swipes, you can give them the input that what is best for you, and then you'll be able to get the best recommendations very quickly. So here the customer is saving a lot of time in getting the right thing that they want, and we have also shown the target KPIs. Next. The next stage of our solutions was bringing the customer to the store and making their visualization journey easier, helping them co-create, with the interior designers also. So firstly, I would want to point out on the insight that we had shown above. 55% of the traffic was from their website, right? So a lot of people would come to Beautiful Homes through the website, but only 6% of the people would come to store and convert into customers, right? So this was actually the main insight that they really wanted us to solve for. And the reasons that we found was that there is low co-creation involved. Like once a customer would explore things on the store, they would feel ki kuch kaam ka mil raha hai, kuch kaam ka nahi mil raha hai. What if I don't get what I want in the store that I visit? So there is a lot of friction and there's a lot of inertia in the minds of customer. Will they be able to find that they really want it or not? Right? So here we had proposed that we give them an online visualization tool. This was also something which was inspired by a lot of other industrial players, but we had shown through a video and a simulation that you can visualize your entire decor in your current living room or in a showroom sort of living room. You can place whatever furniture or whatever decor, whatever paint Asian Paints has to offer, and then you can create your own room. You can take a printout of that room and then just visit the store that, okay, this is what I want. Can you suggest me new changes? Can you exactly get me what I selected, right? So this makes the customer's journey very easier. It reduces the inertia of visiting the store and also helps them make their own choice of co-creating. Next slide. So here also, we had just shown them that, okay, you can, visit the store also. You can see how the store looks like from inside, right? By bringing the store to your door. Then we also found out that inside the Asian Paints Beautiful Home store, there is a digital kiosk, right? So this digital kiosk was mostly used for similar co-creation process and visualization process that we were talking about, but it had no connect with customers' online journey. So here we had proposed that whatever we are proposing to enable customers to create online, online templates, they should be able to access it here. So this is where we bringing the entire omni-channel concept of retailing, where we say that even if a customer is starting a journey online, they should be conveniently able to carry it offline. And that is their incentive basically of coming to the store. Next slide. Then we had also told that if a customer had, expressed their interest online of being a customer of Asian Paints, a store would not know that, right? So that was the basic current status that we had discovered from our primary research of visiting Asian Paints Beautiful Home store. What we therefore propose is that there would be unified lead management, where once you are a customer online or once you are a lead online, Asian Paints should be able to track you even in the store, right from your phone number, right? That what are the things that you have wishlisted? Is there a design that you have created? What is the, kind of things that you have requested Asian Paints for? So we wanted all of this to happen so that the customer's journey is convenient and well connected. Our inspiration was from actually Lenskart, where you actually, try things online on their app. You try to wish list things, and their entire wish list is available on the Lenskart store. When you go to the store and enter your phone number, you will be able to see, or Lenskart representative would be able to see that what all have you wish listed or what all are you interested to buy. So this is another thing that we had proposed. Next slide. So customer delights was also one particular point which we had to cover during the decor journey. Here we had said that we could have some customer delights which is very unique to Asian Paints, which also incentivizes customers to visit the stores. So first we proposed in-store DIY events, creative events where customers just could come for some workshop to create a design of their own, to do something, some engagement activity as a pastime. So Home Depot is actually a brand in the US which is actively doing that. This idea was basically inspired from that. We had also proposed that we could do some ceremonial ribbon cutting, just as would happen when you buy a car. You get to cut a ribbon and you get celebrated. This is also something that we created. We also gave a risk communication strategy, which basically tells that why we should celebrate or why Asian Paints is more important than the other brands. So if you see that we had given an example of pepper fry, that pepper fry would say कि आप पहले pepper fry पे आके try करिए तभी आप product खरीदिए. So similarly with Asian Paints we had to show that we are the ones who put a lot of heart into making your home beautiful. Hence, we will be so involved in your journey that you should visit us other than any other competitor. So here we are giving Asian Paints moat or Asian Paints USP over the other competitors when we are doing any sort of communication plan. Next. Siddharth, over to you.
So as Rohan mentioned, we channeled our solutions among three different journeys, right? So we want the customer to know first, and then we want the customer to get to the store, and thirdly, with the engaging solutions, we want the customer to maybe buy again and sort of get all of the stakeholders into a symphony and harmony, like stakeholders like architects and interior designers who hold a lot of sway in this market. We want the customers to be engaged. So our first solution was to start a BH Aspire Design Awards. So what we want is that we want the architects and interior designers to be motivated to join Asian Paints. Now, why is that? How did we come up with that solution? So if you see one of our insights that the architects and interior designer leads and referrals, the conversion rate is 80%, but the overall traffic of the customers is very less. So we want the architects and interior designers to communicate and engage with the customers. That creates a very nice balance. So we came up with the BH Aspire Design Awards. Next, uh, so we also want to focus on the customer. What the customer actually wants. Uh, it's so one of the ways is to hold interviews, focused group discussions, or float out forms, but that doesn't give a very large picture, because we're in college, our time is limited, we can't always go to interview multiple different people, and 20 25 people, it's not a very big sample size. So what we decided was, we went to Google, we scraped their web reviews, the reviews on Google regarding different BH stores, and we made a spreadsheet, and we did a sentiment analysis on them. Tried to come up, tried to figure out what the issue is. So if you can see the word cloud that we created, customer service, it's an issue, but the experience is very nice. And we also tried to make what we want to do as solvers of this case that Asian Paints gives us, is that we want to make things easy for the person who will see this solution, for a winning factor. So what we try to do is we we prioritize the stores. We gave them what exactly they need to do. So if you see on the right, we prioritize the stores with the highest percentage of negative reviews, and gave the target KPIs as well. So that helped us a lot in the final presentation. And so we came up with another solution. So if you see new and different societies that build up, they create sample flats. So maybe something similar to the lounge experience in the search phase. This can also help customers convert and engage. If Asian Paints, for example, takes responsibility for giving out decorations in a society or flat, and handle the what do we call it, sample flats in those societies. So again, as I mentioned earlier, you need to back it up with data. You need to back it up with your solutions and make it easy for the person reviewing this. So we created key accounts, in 4 different cities: Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, and Chennai. We did a lot of research. We came up with new and upcoming societies by major builders like Lodha, DLF, Godrej. You can all see that here. The solution that you see on the right, QR code for storytelling, I'll tell you a little later how we came up with that, but it mostly refers to when a customer is in the store, every SKU has QR codes attached to it, and a person can scan that. So currently, they were only used by the employees of BHS. We wanted to create a better experience for the customer if they can scan those SKUs and get more detailed insights into what that SKU entails. And so coming up to the last part of our solutions, it was mentioned in the problem statement that they wanted solutions for upselling and cross-selling as well, right? So we did some research. We did research on their online platforms. We talked to a couple of actual employees from White Teak and Sleek. So that's a segment that Asian Paints acquired. So White Teak was for I forgot, it was for interiors, right? Rohan, if I
White
remember
teak is
correctly.
for
Lighting is
lighting.
for lighting.
Lighting, correct. And Sleek was for kitchen decor.
Yeah.
So they acquired those. And if you see that White Teak and Sleek account for 40% of the decor revenue, so we should utilize those channels for upselling and cross-selling the paints business, right? And then in an organic manner, when someone buys decor, we can suggest the customer, go ahead with paints that would match it. So color complementing home decor categories, we identified these categories and gave it as a solution to them. Further cross-selling and upselling, we wanted to use occasion marketing as well. Give discounts on Diwali and Holi, and we also wanted to promote the Wood Tech series. So you know. Not delving too deep into these solutions, what I'm trying to tell you is that you need to have a bigger picture of Asian Paints as a whole, and only then would you be able to come up with solutions. So the cross-selling and upselling part, in the problem statement, it was given, right? But what we found out in the national finals that I don't think any team had focused on these segments, or try to provide solutions for upselling and cross-selling. It was sort of it was written at the end. A lot of people slipped through it, didn't provide solutions for this. And this, because we did focus on these and give solutions to Asian Paints, we were appreciated for this. So that brings me to my next point, that it's very important that you go very deep into the problem statement, because a lot of data that you need to focus on is given in the problem statement itself, and it gives you a really nice direction on where you want to start your research and come up with your solutions. And this is the roadmap where we just ranked all of our solutions and gave them a focus priority. So coming to like the appendix, and before that, I also want to talk about a little of what happened on the actual day on the finals. Something about Asian Paints is that there's always buzzwords, and these buzzwords change every year. It's AI or automation or robotics or Bitcoin and stuff like that. If you use those solutions, or for example, if you focus your solutions around those only, but you don't have an actual backing, something solid as a foundation for those solutions, it becomes very difficult to defend, because like the people who judge, they want concrete evidences, and just throwing out buzzwords doesn't help. So because of that, we were in Jamshedpur. There was no BHS store in Jamshedpur. What we did was we took a one-day journey to Kolkata. We decided to go to their store, figure out the actual customer journey inside the store, how the customer experiences it. That's so when I said about the QR code solution, right? We tried to scan those QR codes, but they did nothing. And uh, as a customer, if you see a QR code in front of you, you expect that if I scan it, I should be able to get some information, right? So things like that, solutions like that, a lot of lead management solutions came out only because we visited the store. So I think it's important to delve really deep into the customer journey. So coming to the appendix, this all of this has been covered in the upper slides. This is mostly a helper. For example, if you get some more questions into how we came up with the numbers, this is for that. We did a competitor analysis as well. We benchmarked different companies. So this was a Google form that we floated. Something that I'd want to tell you is when you float Google Forms for primary research, try to limit textual responses because they become very difficult to analyze, right? And show as well. Try to get as many data points that are discrete in nature. That will help you a lot in your analysis. We did a thorough analysis of the website, how the search engine optimization, how we came up with the numbers. So that's how we structured our slides. We gave the key points in every slide, the key takeaways, and most of the data we fed to the appendix. These were some insights from the interviews that we did. And this was like the guesstimate and how we formulated the numbers that came up in the upper slides. This was sentiment analysis that we performed, for the reviews and customer comments for the BHS stores. Again, an appendix for the different stores that we analyzed, their customer reviews on Google. Again, this is the calculations that we did for the sample flat solution that we mentioned earlier. And finally, the implementation roadmap. If someone were to ask how are we ranking this, so we ranked all the solutions across these 5 parameters and came up with the roadmap. And that brings us to the end of our presentation. I think we're okay for Q&A now, right, Abhay?
Yes, sure. I think wonderfully covered by Siddhartha and Rohan, and the appendix part was, I think, absolutely great, because most of the questions were like, how did you come up with these data? What are the resources? So I think that you have covered. But still, I would like to ask Rohan or Pranjali, can you suggest some websites where they can get these data points?
Right. So I'll tell you the resources that we refer to. Firstly, now anyway ChatGPT is there, right? So use that extensively for research. I would say that what happened in our even finals, for that matter, a lot of, so in the format of Asian Paints is that every campus winner is going to be part of the national finals, right? So between the campuses as such, there was no competition before the finals. It was only at that time. And there, what I observed was that a lot of people were using AI to understand what ideas to put, right? Now what that is going to do is that it is going to give everyone the same response, and therefore we saw that there was a lot of redundancy in the ideas. Hence I always advocate the use of AI, but only for research, only to back whatever idea that you have in mind, right? Your ideas have to come from yourself. So primarily I would say do a random chat gpt search that, okay, this is one idea I have in mind, can you give me some examples? So as I said that we knew that Asian Paints is a leader, right, in the paints business. So how do we get them new ideas on the paints business or decor business, right? Because they are anyway the leader. They are already doing whatever can be done best. So we can look at other players in other industries, or we can look at industries outside India. For that, we cannot go out to research. We can only use the internet, and the fastest way to use the internet for that for us was basically ChatGPT. I would say that, okay, this is one sort of idea I have in mind, but do I even know if this idea is feasible, right? Or if any other company is doing it and getting the right results? If they are getting results, what are the success metrics? So here you would have seen that we were giving a lot of KPIs also, that, okay, this is the amount of increase in footfall that you can expect. So all of this had come from secondary research, from case studies which had been put on internet. And a lot of this we were able to discover through AI. So we used to put in ideas, we used to ask for what are the examples in other industries, give me the data points which are reliable to back this up. And therefore you would see that in our appendix, our entire appendix, like we probably had one of the biggest appendix that anyone would have. We have as number of slides that we have in our main deck, we would have in our appendix, because we used to have so much of material to tell, but that we could not present. So as Siddharth said, all our main slides would used to have key takeaways, but all our double down research, that if anyone would question us ki ye kahan se aaya, how do you prove this, is this even correct, is this even true, we can show you to the appendix and give you the research to build confidence on our ideas and defense our ideas. So chat gpt in that sense was very, very helpful. Secondly, there are a few websites. So HubSpot is a marketing website. It tells a lot about new marketing channels which are evolving as time. So I have used HubSpot articles also a lot to reference for my other case competitions also. So I'm not able to recollect where we got the web traffic from. So SEMrush, I know SEMrush is one particular website which talks about web traffic. It talks about engagements from other channels also. So it can also give you data that if the customer is coming to your website, where are they coming from? Are they coming from Instagram? Are they coming from Facebook? Are they coming from any random search platform? Or are they coming from Google search? Right. So that also helped us to identify that where our Asian Paints online customers are basically coming from. How is the traffic in comparison to the other competitors' websites? So there are such websites which are available to your use, and also they have a free trial period wali cheez. So unless you do not want to pay for it, which I never wanted to, I used to use multiple accounts to register and get a free trial for certain number of searches.
Anyone would like to add?
No, I think covered very well.
So actually, someone was asking what is the sample size that you have taken during your primary research.
Right.
Um,
So
uh,
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so during primary, I would like to say like three things you need to cover. First, for this competition specifically, that definitely go visit a beautiful home store, talk to a CC there, maybe try to get in contact with the dealer so that you understand what is going on in the store, what is the working, and you get the basic concept of it. The second part it would be that know the services business of Asian Paints very well, like what is BHPS, what is Decor Pro, and how are they handling it, so that you can suggest in that vertical also. And the third part of it would be that talk to as many stakeholders as you can. So you need to get into touch with a couple of AITs, you need to get in touch with the people who are currently in their home decor journey, so that will help you to get a broader picture. So all all these three things was something that we did extensively during our primary. So we went for an entire one day to the BH store to understand like what were the exact on ground processes, so that will really help you to get a bigger picture and what solutions to actually propose, and they won't be out of air.
And for the sample size, keep it at least 50 for the Google response forms. Ideally, it should be around 100, I would guess. Anywhere between 50 to 100 is a sweet spot to kind of back that, okay, we have actually gone to certain number of people to form such an hypothesis. However, at least 50 should be good enough, because that gives you a little bit of a clearer idea that whatever you are trying to answer, it is still backed by good number of people. Having said
Uh,
that, what Pranjali said is very important. When you do Google form responses, right, you are, as Siddharth also mentioned, you are only doing objective type questions, but you are not going to get any deeper insights and on basically exactly kya karna hai. So for that, talking to the stakeholders and the personal interviews that Pranjali talked about became very, very important for us, and we ended up quoting them in our deck everywhere, as you would have seen.
yeah. So like also one more point. Uh, so from all the case competitions that we've gone through together, and it's a harsh reality check, because in the first year we feel like the only channel of getting primary research is Google Forms, but I think everyone knows that Google Forms are a lot of them are manipulated. So the credibility of Google Forms in these case competitions, especially in the later stages, semi-finals and finals, does not hold very well with the jury. They want something more concrete. So if If you're just doing Google Forms, that might not cut it because they might not believe it. It's always better to go ahead with some more interviews and talking to actual people, as many stakeholders as possible. Yeah.
Okay, now moving on to the next question. What are the changes that you have made in your presentation from round one to round two or semi-final to final round?
Yeah. So the thing is, the extra things that were asked in the phase two of the problem statement, most of them we'd actually already covered in the previous rounds itself. So we didn't have to make any real changes as far as our team is concerned. The CAC and everything, we'd already covered those solutions. The upselling and cross-selling we'd already covered. And anything else, Pranjali, what was added? Did we
Yeah,
really?
so from campus round to the national rounds, one thing that gets added is the depth of the like they had asked like very specific questions. Our team was just lucky enough that we had already covered them, but there was feedback given to us from the campus round jury also. So we tried to inculcate some of it, like add some more depth into our numbers, some more videos into our presentation, because for the earlier round we had I think 2 or 3 videos less. So like how could we visualize more for our presentation, what extra could be added, like just that.
Also, I think the campus rounds are way more summarized because they are supposed to listen a lot more teams. So we are by design we are asked to keep it very very concise. 3 स्लाइडर 5 स्लाइडर 7 स्लाइडर इससे ज्यादा कुछ नहीं होता है. But when it comes to national finals, you have the MDA and CEO of Asian Paint sitting in front of you, and he can ask you anything whatsoever. So in that, I think jitni bhi aap research dekh rahe hain, all of the numbers that you see, all of the estimates that you see, that was all added on before the finals, because we had to make sure that we should be able to defend our idea, whether it is about in terms of saying ki ye kaun use kar raha hai, if we are talking about other industry examples, or if we have to talk about that, is this idea good enough? Is this going to give me the right ROI? Because a lot of things that we have listed, you never know. The company might have already tested them, right? So how do you show that if you are, if you know, if you are proposing it again to them, if your approach might be different, but you are proposing to them something similar, it is going to work for sure. So making our idea final and nailing it in the coffin by scientifically backing everything, that is something that happened a lot in national finals. And if I recall it very correctly, the one of their key criteria of judgment is also is कि इनके answers कितने ज़्यादा scientifically and data backed है. So that is a key judgment criteria where used to rate us in one of the columns.
Yeah, one more point here. I'd mentioned earlier, like you need to really delve deep into the problem statement, right? So even when the phase two of the problem statement came out, because we had gone very deep into the initial problem statement as well, all of the questions in the phase two were somewhere in between the lines in the initial problem statement itself, right? It's just about how deeply you can go into the first problem statement as well. It does give you an edge because I think we had 4 or 5 days to create the new presentation for the new solution. But because we'd done our research, we'd gone very deep into the problem statement itself, it gave us an edge because we didn't have to restructure our presentation completely, because our structure was already made in the format that they asked for later. And
and
that was only possible because we were able to understand the problem statement very well. Yeah.
and actually one additional thing we did before nationals was go to the BH store, so that was something we did between our campus round and our national round. So that added a lot more depth to our presentation, like what we were suggesting was actually backed. And
I would
uh,
actually say that don't go to BH store just before the nationals. Try to go it in the
Yeah.
campus round also. It's just
We
that
had
for
a
us, we were
logistical
in
issue.
Jamshedpur and we are a little disadvantaged. The closest store to XLRI Jamshedpur is basically in Kolkata. So we had to take a train and go and do all of that. We could not do it in our campus round, but I would always advise that for Asian Paints particularly, they look for a lot of depth. So go to the BH store right from the first hand if it is near to you to bring some solid ideas. And also what Siddharth said, what I used to do was कि जितने भी keywords हैं in the problem statement, I used to put all of them in a column and make sure that whatever keyword in the problem statement is asked, are we answering it or not? Because till phase two, we did not know what is important for them. In phase two, they prioritize certain things. They told us कि यार ये तीन चीजों पे ज़्यादा focus करो because you have limited presentation time. But in the entire problem statement, I think everyone should do this, is that you should highlight each and every important keyword that they have asked for and make sure that your presentation is serving it, just so that you do not get unnecessarily eliminated. Because the person who is judging your campus round, the person who is briefing you before the nationals, the person who is actually the unit head of BH store, and the person who is judging you in the nationals, all of these could be completely different people. What is important to them, what are they able to find rightly in your deck, is completely not in your hands. So just make sure that whatever they need in, and whoever would need it, you have everything. Whatever you want to prioritize, that you should do in your narration. So आपने भी देखा होगा, we had so many slides in our deck, but we had very limited, I think 10 minutes of narration time. So we had
10
to cut down
minutes.
a lot of things by talking about only what is important. But if anyone would want to go anything deep down, and if anyone would want to search for anything, it would be present in our deck. And they also had printouts of our deck during the nationals, so it helps कि अगर आप कुछ skip भी कर देते हो अपने narration में, they are able to see.
Yeah, greatly, I think, answered by all of you. And now, since we are talking about deck and all this data that you have done in for the first round, so one question was related to that. So, since in the first round also you have done so much research, how did you present it in the first round in a very crisp manner, and how the student should go about it?
Uh, I think I think in the first rounds we were allowed five slides, right?
Yeah,
So I
so
mean,
there are three rounds, just to clarify. The first one is a two-slider where you just have to give a very basic overview, after which you get selected for the campus round. In campus round, you have five slides. So for that, you can, like, because you need to present that to the jury. So after the campus round, the top five teams, from the top five teams from the first round, move to the campus round, and the campus winner moves to the national round. So there were total 14 teams in the national round. So like for nationals, there was no slide limit, so you could put as many slides, but there was time limit, so you just had 10 minutes of presentation and 5 minutes of Q&A. But for the campus round, we had 15 minutes for presentation and 5 minutes for Q&A, so 15 minutes for 5 slides it was. So at that point of time, what we had to do, that our presentation, like what we were narrating, should be very, very wholesome and was depicting everything, because our slides were very compact. So at that point of time, we focused a lot on our narration, like how could we make sure that everything that we wanted to convey was present in our narration. And our slides were a little compact, but it was opposite in the nationals, because our narration was smaller but our slides were unlimited at that time.
yeah, I think that's the major point. You What we focused on the campus finals was our narration, all the data that we researched. So we tried to present most of it in the five slides. They weren't as sparse as the slides that we just presented. These are very sparse and empty sort of slides. The slides for the campus finals were very dense. So it helps to structure the slides in a manner of your narration, right? So it's very easy to follow, also for the person who's trying to judge you. uh, uh, when you're narrating, try to narrate from left to right, top to bottom, so it helps the person who's reading the slides also follow you through your narration. So that's how we presented most of our data.
And also one more thing, that during nationals, please make sure that your slides are not very overcrowded, because at that point of time it's very difficult, because there are so many people in the room and they are all seeing it on the big screen. So it should be a little spaced out, little clear, and there should be some clarity of thought on the slides.
So if I talk about the qualifying submission, after which we were selected as campus finalists, we were supposed to make a two-slider submission, which means that it should look like an executive summary. The way we allocated slide was one should be our research slide because research is important to even to qualify for a case com. Second was second slide. Basically, as you would have seen, we had all of our solutions bucketed into three broad categories, right? Search, experience, credence. So we had just made three big columns and put all of our solutions over there, one below the other, just to show कि देखो ये हमारा idea है, and therefore if something intrigues you, then they will qualify you because they will only look at the surface of the idea. They do not care at that point where the idea came from, is it good enough or not. They are just looking forward to see novel ideas, different ideas. So we just gave three columns in the second slide and put all of our ideas one below the other with some examples ki kaun si industry se use ho raha hai. So we would put a company logo and stuff like that. During the campus finals, we were told that okay, we need to elaborate on the ideas a little bit. So we put still allocated that one slide to research. We gave one entire slide to the framework that we had presented, and the rest of the three slides would go one each, one to search solutions, one to experience solution, one to credence solution. And in the campus finals, we also created a very big appendix to make sure that now we have started to put in a lot of our research material. So instead of cluttering the slides, which we could not do because it was an online round, you are advised to keep a 16 font, and therefore we do not want to clutter our slides. We put all of our research into the appendix. And lastly, into the nationals, we had to defend our idea that okay, now our ideas are kind of acceptable to everyone, but now when we are presenting it to the MD and CEO, we need to present it as a business solution that okay, this is why it is going to work, and this is the kind of returns that it is going to bring to you. So more numbers were added in the national Valley slide. More of certain things that were kind of put in the appendix were now brought in to the main slide, again keeping the font as 16, but we made sure that now our solutions looked a more elaborate and kind of in-depth analyzed.
Uh, thanks everyone for this answer. And now we'll go for the last question. So one of the student was asking, since you have presented so many ideas, did you do any acceptability check from the consumers, like whether these ideas will be accepted by them or executable?
The customers weren't our primary focus here. What we wanted to do was create a ecosystem for the customer. So yes, we did talk to a couple of customers. I think Rohan, who was actually looking for some flats at that time, and they were trying to look for home decor solutions. Those formed a small set of the customers that we talked to for getting acceptance criteria. We did talk to customers to basically understand what they wanted. So we didn't actually go to them and give them the solution and wanted to like get a feedback from them. That's not something we did. We approached the customers for getting their pain points, and I think that's an acceptability criteria in itself. If a person has an issue and if you try to solve that issue, that mostly works.
Also, customer analysis is good, but if you're talking from a feasibility point of view, so all of the ideas that we were generated were never out of the air or maybe GPT. They were either being implemented by somebody in the same space or somebody like internationally in a different category might have done it. So like Kohler had already done that idea, so we had taken a lot of inspiration from a lot of companies and seen that if we did the same for this company, how could it be implemented, how could it be done. So a lot of our feasibility check was done from that place also.
Also, I think the way to solve for this like customer feasibility and feasibility study, I don't think anyone from a case com point of view would expect you to do that. Like you
Yeah.
can, and even if you do and you somehow come with the results, no one will believe that, because maximum people that you can go to is 50, 100 people, whatever. But the scale at which companies do feasibility studies are at a massive scale, and there's a lot of large sample set and a lot of confidence involved जब वो कोई idea को execute करता है. Hence, right from our way of thinking about the idea was कि what is the customer exactly painful about, कि कहाँ पे customer को problem हो रही है, and then whatever now, since we know that this is the problem that we need to solve, जो feature हम दे रहे हैं उसका form and factor that we had to see what was what was already known to them, right? Because if we give them something very obscure कि अच्छा आप जाइए और आपको ऐसे आपके फोन में कुछ AR जनरेटेड होगा एंड उसमें आप अपना रूम विजुअलाइज कर सकते हैं, you don't even know if this thing exists in the market or someone would be using it, right? But if I am telling you that okay, जैसे आप Tinder पे swipe करते हो and you are able to make your preferences by just swiping right or left, what if I tell you that you can choose your furniture like that, and then I'll be able to give you the best recommendation, right? So this, by the surface of it, is very easy for a customer to digest and very easy to believe. Hence, our way of thinking about solutions itself was something which was in a form of factor, if not in the same industry, in the other industry, was already existing in the market. I think that really curbs your problem of even telling or convincing the case com judges कि आपका ये idea चल पाएगा, because they are like कि अच्छा already in the market है, we can test it, there's no harm in testing it.
Thank you. I think we would like to close this session now. Thank you, team, for coming on our platform and telling your journey related to Asian Paints Canvas and guiding students on how you solve the problem and how they should solve in the upcoming case competition. Okay, and thank you for all the participation, all the students who came today and joined this session. And for all any other updates related to case competition or future session, you can subscribe to our channel and follow our LinkedIn page as well. Thank you.